I just let AI manage the results for my hedge fund, and they were shocking. Now, for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Stephen Brooks. I'm a hedge fund manager who specializes in systematic option strategies, primarily in the S&P 500. Now, as you can see here on the screen, we gave this information to Claude, and it ran with it. A couple things to note. Number one, this file right here that we gave it are the closing prices from the S&P 500 over the past 6 months. This file right here, these are the daily balances of the fund portfolio, and we gave it to the AI. And over here is an image from our actual Schwab brokerage that shows that the result over that period is about 19.85%. So we're hoping that the AI gets kind of relatively close there so we can know that the numbers that they're talking about are pretty good. Then we gave it the following prompt, and I'm going to read it to you word for word. I run a hedge fund called Brooks Asset Management. I want you to analyze my performance versus the S&P 500 from October 10th, 2025 through March 22nd. I'm uploading my daily balance CSV file from Schwab. Please use it to calculate my performance metrics. Now, there were also contributions to the account during that period that I wanted noted as well, so they would not be factored into the profit or loss. October 14th, 250K, December 3rd, 200K, December 22nd, 400K, December 5th, 200K, for a total contribution of a little bit more than $1 million. There was a withdrawal of a little bit more than $5,000 on January 30th. I've also uploaded the closing prices of the S&P 500 from October 10th to March 22nd, so you can calculate accurate metrics for the comparison. Using my account data and the S&P 500, please compare my fund's performance to the S&P 500 across the following metrics. Cumulative return. What do we do during the period? Annualized return. What does that look like over a 1-year period if we extrapolate and project that? What's the maximum drawdown, the worst it got? What's our Sharpe ratio, efficiency? MAR ratio, capital efficiency. And then what $1 million invested in the fund versus in the S&P 500 would be at today. For all metrics, express the S&P 500 numbers relative to my fund's performance, not as a standalone number. And please present the results in a clean comparison table. So we should see, if these numbers are going to be accurate and we're going to trust what they're saying, we should see something around 20%, maybe a little bit less. So here's what it came back with. Close. These numbers are a little bit high, but they're pretty close. So this is saying we got a 20% return. Again, ours is a little bit less than that, but it's still in the same ballpark. Versus the S&P, that's down. Annualized return, that comes out to about 50% versus the S&P. Of course, if it was down during this period on an annualized basis, it would be down too. The maximum drawdown, 2.7% versus 6.77. The Sharpe ratio, 4.33 to a negative number. The MAR ratio, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite metric for capital efficiency. 18.82 versus a negative number. And if you put $1 million in the fund back on October 10th, it would be about 1.2 million right now. And of course, since the market is lower during that same period, you would have lost a little bit of your principal with the S&P 500. Now, let's kind of talk about some of these comparisons and how we might actually be able to come up with these numbers that we do. First, the S&P 500 is essentially your buy and hold model, right? The buy and hold model is perfect for those that want to build up a nest egg over many decades, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Inflation runs at 4 to 5% per year. GDP is about 1 to 2% per year. That gets you your 6 to 8% annualized returns. But what a lot of people don't understand about that 6 to 8% annualized returns is it never happens. It never happens. Sometimes you get 20%. Sometimes you get 30%. Other times you lose 20%. So net comes out to be 6 to 8%. Now that's great. Again, for a lot of folks out there, that's fantastic. You'll build up a really nice nest egg for yourself over 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And that's fantastic. And odds favor that continuing to be the case moving forward. But my biggest problem kind of with that buy and hold model is that it doesn't produce anything for you in the short term. It gets you a big number on a piece of paper in the long term, but it does nothing for you until then. I don't like that, right? I worked very hard for my capital. I want my capital to make a positive impact on my life today. The production of a low-cost index fund, which is essentially the S&P 500, is 1%. You get a 1% dividend, and that sucks. Treasuries are better. I'm sure there are many online savings accounts that are better than that. What I want is my capital to be an asset that pays me. And that's what we do in the fund. So we are an insurance company within financial markets. If a large player or a individual wants to insure their position, we will sell that insurance to them. And because we take on more risk than they do, we require a markup for that service. Now, it's not a giant, enormous, like free money markup. Right? We lose plenty. We lose multiple times every single day. But we do have a mathematical edge with that markup. It's known as the variance risk premium. So what we do is we sell insurance, a small amount of insurance, a number of times in a given day, 30, 40, 50, and sometimes, depending on the day, even 100 times a day. And what that allows us to do, it is allows us to take our edge that we have and then multiply it by volume. So we don't get very big in our size. We don't try to time anything because nobody's good at timing the market. We have a little bit of an edge because we require a markup for the risk that we take, and then we multiply it by volume. Again, and we do it dozens of times in a given day. And that allows us to have a result that is not correlated to the S&P 500. Right? If the S&P 500 goes up, that edge that we have is still there. If the S&P 500 goes down, that edge that we have is still there. So it's not really dependent on what the market does, and that allows you to get kind of uncorrelated returns, as you can see here, that are uncorrelated to the S&P 500. So if you are an accredited investor and you are interested in investing in our fund, there will be a link below this video that you can go ahead and click on to express interest. If you're not yet accredited and you kind of want to learn how to do this and utilize our software that'll place the trades for you, there will also be a link below this video for you as well.